Shooter understand the course of fire?
Yep.
Stand by.
Units in 11, we have a person wanted at Madison.
Shooter ready. Stand by.
I'm the definition of underdog who relates, who people rooting for cause they see themselves in my face. Go toe to toe with my fate, driven to be the great number one tree second place like I'm in a two-man race. This is David and Goliath, view me as a fly, smaller than horizon, but there's so many rivals, my son's in a body that can take half of those bodies and make a pile. I'm on top of the dead just to look a giant dead in his head. Me so much like that you'll probably never believe it. I fade, I fall, stand tall. Some dream of greatness while others stay awake to achieve it. I do this, got no excuses. Just love winning less than I hate losing. I'm proving through my era. So even if I die for centuries through history, I'm alive.
The upper and lower are billet, and so because of that you have all these cool designs and it matches up and it looks super sick. And as we know, looking super sick is what matters. So coming off the upper, which is really well made, if you just get the upper you'd be happy, but probably one of my favorite parts of this rifle is the lower. The Adac lower is probably one of the greater innovations in the AR-15 market recently. So let's talk about it. So first off, what makes it really cool, in no particular order, is ambidextrous, right? So why is it important to have ambidextrous controls? Well, that's a really good question. What it comes down to is if you're doing any type of offhand shooting, it's nice to have those ambidextrous controls. That way you can operate the weapon from whatever side you're working on. Besides that, if you're left-handed, then it's always nice to have ambidextrous controls, but I'm right-handed personally. Well, I'm left-handed, but I shoot right, so it works for me. Now, if we move over to the left side of the weapon, you can see that we have our bolt release and we have our magazine release. Both are easy to actuate. A little bit easier to actuate than the Triarch design that they had, which are the Santan lowers. If you also notice that the bolt catch, it reaches back a little bit, kind of similar to the Geisley Maritime. That way you can actuate it with your trigger finger, with your left hand, and all that type of stuff. Works really well, super smooth to use. Easy, good times. Over on the right side, we have our magazine release, and then of course we have our bolt release. So, bolt release is right there, easily actuated, all that type of stuff. One of the coolest things with this particular lower, however, and what's going to blow your mind, and what blew my mind, was when you depress the magazine release and you pull the charging handle to the rear, it locks the bolt back. Super cool. So why does that matter? Well, it matters because if you're doing any type of weapon clearing, from a malfunction or something like that, depending on the malfunction, that eliminates a couple steps that makes your life a lot easier. So that is a really good design. I'm a huge fan of that, and I've gotten really used to it. And so when I'm going back to my other rifles, I'm like sitting there like an idiot, pulling back on the charging handle, depressing the magazine release, and I look stupid. So thanks for that, Radian. It's a really good feature and one that I am a huge fan of. So if you get the Adac lower, you will learn to quickly love that feature on this particular rifle.
Hey everyone, it's Ivan, KidBadger.com, here today to talk about one of the pretty cool benefits with respect to the Radian Weapons Adac lower receiver. Ambidextrous dual action control. Compared to, say, a standard AR. One of the great benefits is when it actually comes to clearing malfunctions, specifically double feeds. I went out and put in some time with both the regular AR as well as the Radian Model 1. Personally, when it comes to clearing double feeds, it's just a monster. It takes time. You end up having to lock the bolts to the rear, clear whatever happens to be jammed up in there. Go ahead and get some fresh ammo in there, break your shot. With your standard AR, you have to take the rifle out of your shoulder, go ahead and take your primary hand off of fire control, being right-handed anyway, which point you can lock the bolt to the rear, strip the mag, do all that stuff. Conversely though, when we go to, say, the Radian Model 1 with the Adac, it allows us to keep our hand on fire control during the entire process. You know, how does this play out? For me, in my experience, found it to be consistently faster, to the point of about 1 3/4 seconds faster, kind of across the board, having run reps both with the standard AR as well as with the Radian Model 1. And just to make sure I wasn't like gaming it, having ran the AR first and then running the Radian Model 1, went back, ran the AR a couple more times, and still faster with the Radian Model 1.